Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bob Manzi, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the Indiana County District Attorney. I am joined today by Pennsylvania State Attorney General Dave Sunday, Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Shaw, the Executive Director of the Armstrong, Indiana Behavioral and Developmental Health Program, Tammy Calderone, many members of our law enforcement community who are behind me, as well as elected officials and law enforcement that are here in the courtroom today. I want to thank everyone for taking your time out of your busy schedules to be here for the launch of our new behavioral health component to the LETI in Indiana County. We are fortunate to be joined by the members of our Indiana County law enforcement community in this program that has been so valuable. In 2023, we announced our partnership with the Office of the Attorney General, the Indiana County law enforcement community, and local service providers to bring the Law Enforcement Treatment Initiative, LETI, to Indiana County. Since that time, we have connected hundreds of individuals in our community with critical substance abuse disorder services. With a success rate of over 95%, many of these individuals have moved forward to become productive members of our community. At the same time, we have seen a meaningful decline in criminal cases, allowing our resources to be better focused on violent crime, drug trafficking, and child abuse. Today, I am proud to announce the next step forward, the expansion of LETI to include behavioral health. This expansion reflects an important truth. Criminal justice and mental health are unfortunately deeply interconnected. The LETI BH program provides another tool for law enforcement and for prosecutors to address the realities of mental health and substance use disorders in our community. Today, 63.4% of the incarcerated population in our county jail has been diagnosed and are being treated for mental illness. 16.6% of those individuals have been diagnosed with serious mental health illness. These individuals will return to our community. Providing treatment is not only essential to their well-being, but it is critical to public safety. The LETI program creates multiple pathways to connect individuals with services they need, ideally before or at the earliest stage in the criminal justice system. First, referrals can be made even when no crime has occurred. We do not need to wait for someone to enter the criminal justice system to help. Law enforcement and community partners can make referrals to prevent criminal behavior before it begins. While participation is voluntary, we expect many individuals will take advantage of these services and avoid entering the system altogether. Second, for individuals charged with certain nonviolent offenses, referral to LETI BH may be appropriate. Upon successful completion of treatment recommendations, cases can be resolved in a way that reflects both accountability and rehabilitation, ranging from continued treatment with a guilty plea to potential withdrawal of charges. Let me be clear, this program does not replace the prosecution of violent crime, of drug trafficking, of child abuse, or other serious offenses. Instead, it allows us to divert low-level, nonviolent cases towards a more effective treatment-focused response while preserving our ability to focus on the most serious threats to public safety. I often compare our approach to the medical field. When you go to the emergency room, patients are triaged based on need. Some require immediate intensive care, while others may need medication and referral to a specialist. Both receive appropriate care, but by directing less critical cases to outpatient treatment, the system has greater capacity to respond to emergencies. The same principle applies here. We must evaluate each case individually and determine the most appropriate response. When someone is struggling with serious mental health issues, such as property damage stemming from early onset dementia, the best outcome may be treatment, not prosecution. Families calling for help should not have to choose between filing charges or doing nothing. Families also should not refrain from calling 911 for fear of criminal charges. LETI BH provides a meaningful option to ultimately connect the most appropriate resources to each individual case. This expansion marks an important step forward for our criminal justice system and our community. I want to thank Attorney General Dave Sunday for recognizing the importance of this work and for supporting counties across Pennsylvania. I first had the opportunity of meeting Dave in 2020 when I began serving as district attorney here in Indiana County, and he was serving as district attorney in York County. Since I took office, he has always been a trusted resource for me, and I know he's been a trusted resource for prosecutors across the state. As the Attorney General, he has continued that commitment. He has been a strong partner to Indiana County, including supporting other avenues we have, including our drug task force, which has seen success, including Operation Lake Effect, which resulted in over 100 arrests in 6 states and a seizure of more than 3 million fentanyl pills. He took his time to support our local law enforcement as a keynote speaker last year in our Behind the Badge dinner. He has and he will always be a friend to Indiana County as he supports what is important to us. His office stands ready to assist us at any time, day or night, and that partnership has made a real difference in our community. I cannot thank Attorney General Dave Sunday enough for his service to Pennsylvania and to Indiana County. So please welcome me and please join me in welcoming Attorney General Dave Sunday.
Thank you, sir. So good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute honor to be here. I want to start out by thanking District Attorney Manzi. I can't tell you how grateful I am for your kind words, but also for your leadership. Initiatives like this can't happen without someone to step up to the plate, take ownership of it, and make it happen, and that's something that you've done. And I have no doubt that Indiana County is, they're overwhelmingly proud of that work. I'm also proud to be standing here with our partners in law enforcement. My belief, and I think I share this with everyone in here, is that if communities aren't safe, nothing else matters. And the only way we can achieve that is by working and collaborating with law enforcement. And so I'm beyond grateful for all of the work that you do, that your teams do. And I will always say, and I emphasize this, that whenever we have an opportunity to speak on a lot of issues here, oftentimes it's us that stands here, but there's tons of people who work so hard behind the scenes every single day that are on the streets, that are making the traffic stops and doing the work that's really dangerous. And so I'm grateful for all of them as well. And so I'm beyond excited to be here. In addition to that, I can't forget our partners in the legislature, because everything we do involves collaboration, working together. And so thank you, Representative Struzzi and Senator Pittman, for being here and being supportive of all of our efforts in the Attorney General's office and law enforcement throughout Pennsylvania. You guys are amazing partners, and we're grateful. So long before I was the Attorney General, I was a DA. And before that, I was an assistant DA. And so I spent my career in a courtroom working on cases from little ones all the way up through death penalty cases. And I can tell you without question that as the years went on, for me as a prosecutor in a courtroom, I would see day in and day out people come back, people that had already been convicted, people that went to prison and then they committed more crimes. I saw families suffer. And at that time period, back in, I'm going to say 2015, that was when the opioid overdose deaths in Pennsylvania tripled, okay? And a lot of people kind of remember that time period and how difficult it was. And I'll never forget that we decided to do what we could to increase access to care for people that were suffering from addiction. And when we did that, we, realized that this would keep families together and it would also decrease crime. But as the years went on, not only did we understand how important it was to treat people that were in the throes of addiction, but we realized very, very quickly that we cannot ignore the mental health crisis in Pennsylvania. I saw it firsthand, as I said, as a prosecutor. We saw individuals who would go to prison that should have never committed the crime in the first place, people that could have received treatment, and it would have sent them down a whole different path. I can tell you that, and I know that that the law enforcement officers, and I know District Attorney Manzi would probably agree, that when you look at some of the most horrific violent crimes in society, and you walk back through that person's life, at some point, you'll find that they may have touched a criminal justice system with a mental health crisis that no one ever did anything about. And so ultimately, that's what led me in York as a DA to really believe in doing everything we can to increase access to mental health care, to treat behavioral health crises, and to do that before it turns into something bad. I can tell you without question that if someone broke into my house, I would want them held accountable. I'd want them to go to jail. But the reality is I would much rather that never happen in the first place. And that's really what this is about. My philosophy on criminal justice is what I call accountability and redemption. You have to have both. You must hold people accountable. Without accountability, nothing else matters. But on the other side of it, for people that have committed crimes, we have to embrace redemption, because you mentioned earlier, Bob, that people are going to come back home that go to prison. 95% of everyone that goes to jail will return home. And so as a society, we have to ask ourselves, what do we want those individuals to do? Do we want them to commit more crimes? Do we want them to go without being treated? The answer is no. We want them to be treated. We want them to work. We want them to be productive members of society. We want to keep families together. We want to save taxpayer dollars, and we want to lower crime. That is absolutely what this is about. And that's why I'm so proud to be here with you in Indiana County to kick this off. The LETI program has been overwhelmingly effective. And the great thing about it is that it's tailored individually to each county. And so essentially, Indiana County, what is the best way to do this for you? And that's how these initiatives are put together, and that's what we have done here. So with that being said, it is an honor to be here with you. I love watching what goes on in Indiana County, and I mean this with all sincerity. You have a great stuff happening here, outstanding DA's office. Law enforcement's doing a great job. All the work that's being done with behavioral health. I mean, you're leaders in this area, and it's something you should be very, very proud of. The citizens should be proud of, and I know that I am proud to be here with you as a partner to stand with you and work through this as you proceed down this path. So that being said, thank you for your leadership, and I think it's amazing. I think this is an exciting day, and I look forward to watching it all unfold. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
So all of the services that we talk about, all of the work that we do when we have somebody who's in need are directed through many of the agencies in our county. We are very fortunate in our county to have Tammy Calderon as the Executive Director of the Armstrong, Indiana Behavioral and Developmental Health Program. As an award-winning Executive Director who's available all the time for my office and for our county. And I know in the courtroom today we have several members of her staff here who are probably tired of getting dozens and dozens of emails me from a day asking about what can be done and what we can do. A fantastic team that Tammy has developed with her leadership. Tammy Calderon.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The Armstrong, Indiana Behavioral and Developmental Health Program welcomes the opportunity to partner with Indiana County District Attorney's Office and the State Attorney General to implement the LETI Behavioral Health Program in Indiana County. We are appreciative of District Attorney Manzi's willingness to expand this program to the mental health, intellectual disability, and autism spectrum populations. By integrating behavioral health services through the LETI program, we will be reducing barriers to treatment, supporting recovery, and continuing our local ongoing diversionary efforts to build stronger partnerships between law enforcement, our providers, and our community. Through the new LETI process, we will be formalizing a process for our already existing diversionary efforts, which began in 2019 with the creation of a law enforcement liaison position. The existing LEL, who is employed by the Community Guidance Center, works with our criminal justice entities and mental health service providers to ensure that Individuals are involved in appropriate treatment and support services to ensure the individuals get to stay in the community. Stay in the community. As the complexity for the forensic cases grew, early in 2024, our office hired a forensic caseworker to act as a coordinator between our office, law enforcement, the jails, the judicial court system, and the mobile competency restoration team, and the law enforcement liaisons. Since being hired, the forensic caseworker has been working diligently to build stronger partnerships between law enforcement, our court systems, jails, and our community stakeholders. Our most recent efforts have included offering crisis intervention training in Indiana. This was a joint effort between IUP and the CIT Steering Committee. This unique partnership offers CIT training to not only our local law enforcement, corrections officers, probation, humane officers, and crisis staff, but also the IUP police cadets. To date, 29 officers and 72 IUP cadets have been CIT trained. I'm excited to also mention that a new crisis walk-in center will be opening on the campus of the Indiana Regional Medical Center in the next couple of months. This new center will be run by our local crisis provider, the Open Door of Indiana, and will offer a separate entrance for law enforcement to utilize. At the crisis center, an individual will be able to be assessed and get the appropriate LETI referral. As you can see, Indiana County has invested substantial time and resources into strengthening our response to mental and behavioral health needs for individuals both within and outside the criminal justice system. One final example I would like to share is to highlight the multidisciplinary team that meets on an ongoing basis, representing the courts, the jail, law enforcement, the district attorney's office, the public defender's office, our mental health law enforcement liaisons, the county behavioral health program, and the County Drug and Alcohol Commission. This team has worked collaboratively to divert appropriate cases from the criminal justice system, ensuring they address the needs of the individuals to get the appropriate treatment. These are the tenets of the Law Enforcement Treatment Initiative that Indiana will continue into the future. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you today.
Thank you, Tammy. And one of the benefits about the expansion is that Tammy will be joined by Cami Anderson from the Drug and Alcohol Commission, who's been working with LETI since we started it in 2023. Cami, thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
One of the best parts about my job is that I get to work with men and women of law enforcement. I have a brother-in-law who's a police detective and has been working in law enforcement for over 25 years. And they're some of the best people that I know. We have members of law enforcement here, not only in the courtroom, but behind me with Sheriff Bob Fyock, Lieutenant Tarana, members of the Pennsylvania State Police, and Chief Justin Shaw of the Indiana Borough Police. This is a program that's been supported by law enforcement around the community and around the state. They want to see the best for folks. They want to see crime reduction. They want to see people get the help they get so that the crime is reduced and our community is safer. So today I'm going to turn the podium over to Chief Justin Shaw for a few comments.
Thank you. Police officers serve communities and community members that are navigating complex issues and complex needs. The better we understand the communities we serve, the issues that are impacting our neighbors, and the resources we have available, the better service we can provide and the better safety outcomes we can achieve. The Law Enforcement Treatment Initiative and its expansion recognize that we are all safer and better able to serve each other when we work together. As evidenced by Attorney General Sunday and District Attorney Manzi, community police departments and the Pennsylvania State Police in Indiana and the Sheriff's Department in Indiana and across the Commonwealth have great partners. And when our partnerships can expand to include more community stakeholders, we create environments that not only seek positive impacts and safe outcomes, but we achieve lasting wellness and well-being. Promoting, achieving, and maintaining public safety at the highest level requires that we have every available tool and resource at our disposal to serve our communities well. LETI continues giving our skilled, courageous, compassionate, and high-character police officers resources and partnership opportunities to best support our neighbors and the communities that we serve. On behalf of law enforcement professionals in Indiana County and beyond, we sincerely appreciate the time, effort, talents, and heart of Attorney General Sunday, District Attorney Manzi, and our colleagues from Drug and Alcohol Commission and Behavioral and Developmental Health. Thank you all.
And if I may, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the individual from our office who works every day nonstop to put all of these initiatives together, Lauren Diller. Thank you so much. You're amazing at what you do. We all appreciate you. And I know you didn't want me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So thank you. Thank you. All right. That's it.
If he didn't do it, I was going to do it, so it was going to happen. Well, I want to thank everyone for taking your time and being here today for this important program. You know, all good things happen when teams work together. And this program is going to be successful because here in Indiana County, no matter what part you serve in the criminal justice system, in the drug and alcohol service, or in the mental health services, everybody here is committed to their work and committed to partnerships for the best results for Indiana County. So I look forward in the future to presenting positive results, just as we did from the substance abuse portion of this program. And I want to thank everybody who does their part to make Indiana County a great place to raise your family. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Good job. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right. Yep. We're good. Okay. Thank you.